Color is often treated as a visual afterthought, a finishing layer. But in my experience, color becomes something else entirely when expression is restricted. When language is filtered, erased, or unsafe, color doesn't disappear, it adapts. And in that process, it begins to communicate. My name is Suhail Yadgari. I'm an entrepreneur, marketing specialist, and multimedia artist. I work at the intersection of history, identity, and visuals. And over time, I've come to believe this: when language breaks down, color becomes a kind of language itself. In some places, speaking freely carries risk. That risk may be political, cultural, emotional, or simply social. I'm not just referring to censorship or control, though that exists too. I'm also talking about the quiet kind of limitation, the unspoken rules of what is acceptable, what is appropriate, and what is too much. In environments like that, expression doesn't disappear, it shifts. It finds other mediums, other codes. Some people write in metaphor, some turn to movement or rhythm, and many, like me, begin designing. Not to build, but to translate. This is how I found color, or I can say how color found me. Color is not just an aesthetic tool, it's a part of psychological system or a framework we use to translate feeling. Designers, marketers, and psychologists have all studied this. We associate yellow with energy, optimism, attention, red with passion, urgency, warning, black with depth or formality. These meanings are culturally shaped but often biologically reinforced. They work fast, they bypass logic, and speak directly to emotion. But that's only the surface, because when words become difficult, color doesn't just signal emotion, it begins to carry it. In my own work, I noticed something change. I wasn't choosing colors for visual balance anymore. I was using them to say something I didn't have words for: a subtle intensity, a memory, a resistance, a mood I couldn't label. I started to see design not as construction, but as confession. It's not that the viewer always understands exactly what I meant, but they feel something, they respond. And in that response, a kind of conversation begins, without anyone saying a word. And this way, color moves from a decoration to disclosure. It becomes a container for things we can't or won't express directly. This shift also creates something I didn't expect: an archive, a body of work that doesn't record facts but stores feelings. Design, especially visual language under pressure, starts to record emotional memory. This is not just true for me, it's true across cultures. When speech is not permitted, art becomes evidence. Artists have always embedded meaning into form: in Afghanistan, in Chile, in Iran, in Cuba, in Detroit. Color is a part of that process. Not the loudest part, but often the most lasting. And the more we pay attention to color as a medium of expression, the more we realize how much it is holding. Now, someone might say, but isn't that just designed under constraint? Yes, but that's the whole point. Constraints force clarity. When you can't say something openly, you get more intentional about what you imply. You rely on suggestion, tone, timing, and yes, color. Design becomes a negotiation between what can be said, what should be felt, and what must be preserved. Every pixel is a choice, and color becomes a layer of logic, emotion, and sometimes even defines, all at once. It's important to say color doesn't always declare. It invites. It doesn't tell you what to feel, it gives you space to feel something, even if you don't have language for it. That ambiguity is part of what gives it power. A viewer might see a deep green and think calm, another might see grief. A third might not know why it holds their attention, only that it does. That's not a design flaw. That's a feature. Color doesn't replace language, it expands it. It gives us more ways to participate in a conversation that doesn't need full explanation to be filled. And this isn't just about Afghanistan. This is global. From protest posters in Poland to social movements in the US to brand storytelling in Tokyo, color is being used to shape emotional in environments where attention is short and words are fragile. Design literacy is rising, and yet many people still underestimate how much meaning color carries. Here I'm inviting you to see color as a part of the communication spectrum, to recognize it more than visual, to treat it as one of the oldest, most accessible language we have, especially when others fail. So no, color wasn't made to carry stories. It wasn't designed to speak. But when language broke down, it did. It adapted. It became memory, it became tone, it became a way to process, to preserve, to protect, without permission and often without price. I don't believe color can solve everything, but I do believe it can carry what would otherwise be lost. And in that way, sometimes quietly, sometimes boldly, we speak to it. Thank you.